Hello light seekers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Siga, aka the Earthly Spirit Guide, and today we are talking about shadow work. Another way to say shadow work is exploring how the past shapes our present and our future. Shadow work is a transformative journey that allows us to explore the hidden aspects of ourselves, bringing light to the shadows and fostering deep healing. Now, shadow work has been used, misused, reused, and overly used on social media. So much to the point where it seems like shadow work is this intricate, hard to understand, unattainable concept that only the elites get it. But actually, you've probably been doing shadow work for quite some time already and just didn't realize it. Shadow work is the process of reclaiming the parts of ourselves that we've rejected, while simultaneously gaining awareness of how our past experiences have shaped our views, beliefs, emotions, and even our triggers over time. It is not about eliminating our shadow. It is about becoming aware of our shadow's inner workings and consciously working with it. It is the ongoing process, keyword ongoing, of stopping ourselves mid-thought, mid-trigger, mid-emotion, and asking ourselves, why? Why am I triggered? Why am I running? Why am I habitual in this behavior that I know does not serve me? Why am I telling myself these negative things? Why am I allowing unhealthy behaviors from myself or others? Why am I avoidant in certain areas? Am I subconsciously hiding something? Do I have subconscious guilt or shame? How am I coping with my emotions? What am I overlooking? Those are just a few examples of questions you can ask yourself along your shadow work journey. So what is the shadow self? The term shadow was coined by mid-20th century psychologist Carl Jung, who believed there's a part of our mind that holds our deepest, darkest, repressed memories, emotions, and experiences. The shadow is comprised of the parts of ourselves that may be kind of hard to look at, and that we deem unloving, unworthy, or unacceptable. So much so that we go the extra mile to keep it hidden. This is where our unwanted experiences, emotions, and thoughts go to fester in our subconscious and are usually expressed through various triggers, unhealthy behaviors, tumultuous relationships, and unhealthy thought patterns. That is only if we don't get a hold of it. So when and how is the shadow even created? Well, here enters that inner child. It begins in childhood when we are able to start forming our very first memories. It's how the adults in our lives spoke to us. The attention, celebration, patience, quality time, or love that we did or didn't receive, and how we internalized those experiences. What we internalize and subconsciously believe because of those experiences are what creates our shadow. It could be that your caregiver wasn't attentive or didn't outwardly show you that they loved you. Or maybe you had an absent parent, or a parent that was physically there but put themselves, other people, work, and other things before you. It could be that your passions and interests weren't poured into or even acknowledged. Or maybe you only got attention when you did something wrong and the best parts of you went unseen. Think about what the child in you may have taken away from those experiences. I'm unworthy, I'm not enough, I'm too much, I'm annoying, I'm not smart, other people are better than me, my accomplishments aren't important, my voice isn't important, I can't do it, I won't amount to anything, I'm not pretty or handsome enough, I don't deserve love. If only I could be like that person, then maybe I too could receive love. And now here we are in adulthood, entering friendships, relationships, partnerships, and even careers that reflect those subconscious beliefs right back to us. Why? Because we attract what we are. Who we are is determined by who we believe we are, what we tell ourselves we are, whether that's conscious or subconscious. We may not think about those experiences every day, but when we're not aware of our shadow and our shadow experiences, and we don't work with our shadow to bring it to the forefront and see how it's affecting how we navigate the world, then they kind of control us from the shadows. Okay, so we all have a shadow. I have it, you have it, your parents, your sisters and brothers, everyone has it. So how do we identify the shadow aspects within ourselves? Well, luckily there are several ways to identify a shadow aspect. And identifying a shadow can happen differently each time you discover a new one, which highlights the extreme importance of self-awareness and your ability and openness to look in the mirror. Having a reflective moment in the midst of discord instead of pointing the finger can literally change your life and the people around you. To identify a shadow aspect, you can look at a few things. Number one, your triggers. We all have triggers. And going back to this concept of self-awareness, it is important that you not only identify when someone else is triggered, but you're able to identify when you are triggered and what may be sparking it. A trigger is an event, moment, conversation, person, memory, or otherwise that reminds us of an unpleasant experience that we've pushed deep down into our shadow. Triggered shadow aspects tend to be expressed in ways that we don't feel too good about later, such as outbursts, jealousy, codependency, anxiety, resentment, lies, passive aggression, and more. The important thing to know about a trigger is that discernment in the midst of analyzing them is crucial. Sometimes a person may do something without the intention of being hurtful or to trigger you, but your past experiences cause you to be triggered, frustrated, or upset. A trigger in itself is when something old inside of us is being reignited. And sometimes it's hard to discern whether it's the person in front of you that's the problem or if it's your own unhealed wounds. Remember, we are allowed to feel our feelings, but how we react is our responsibility. Once again, discernment is our best friend. The second way to identify a shadow aspect is to see what areas in your life are you holding yourself back. This can mean that you don't show your authentic personality, that you don't speak up for yourself, you don't fully celebrate yourself or find the purpose in doing so, or you struggle with stepping outside of your comfort zone. When we hold ourselves back, that is because we have a subconscious belief that when we let ourselves fly in a certain direction or do a certain thing, that we will have a certain unpleasant outcome. What experiences or what has someone said to you that made you feel that being free and going for something would yield an unpleasant experience? Number 3, irrational or unexplained fears. These are fears where you haven't truly taken a moment to say, where did this fear come from? It could be that you're afraid to give your all to a relationship because of past experiences, or that you don't chase your dreams because it comes with risks that you're afraid of. Dig deeper and you may realize that your fears are not rooted in truth, but instead they are rooted in past traumas that you have internalized as truth. Just because we believe something does not make it the truth. The shadow work journey is all about identifying those lies that we've taken on as truth and rewriting them for a script that allows us to be our highest selves. Number 4, deep feelings of guilt or shame. These type of emotions have a field day in our shadows because they thrive in being unseen and can only control us when they are hidden in the shadow. Now, the tricky thing about these emotions is that they can manipulate our minds to tell us that we in fact don't have these emotions of guilt or shame at all. This is how people that are not very kind are able to avoid their own selves, to a certain extent. Saying things such as, I don't feel bad, or they deserved it, or I told them not to play with me. Now, I'm not talking about someone who is defending themselves. I'm talking about someone who is the aggressor. Let's be honest. If you find yourself being an aggressor in certain situations, ask yourself, what is that aggression covering up deep down? Because it's probably covering up some pain. People that avoid their emotions actually build a prison around their own being, keeping them from their own happiness, light, and love, and the ability to share and receive that with others. Now, this is all about being real and honest with ourselves because that is where the transformation lies. It lies in seeing things head on, accepting it, and saying, okay, now what? The main thing that we want to ask ourselves in shadow work is, how are my actions, behaviors, thoughts, and impulses actually a cover-up for something that I'm feeling a lot deeper down? Carrying out shadow work looks like taking ourselves back into some of our most painful experiences for the purpose of reliving that experience through our current lens and perspective. So then we can see what lies did we tell ourselves, because we have more wisdom today to be able to look back and say, aha, I see where I went wrong. I see where they went wrong. I see how I internalized something that was not really my truth. And now it's time to rewrite your story. All right, my spiritual friends, that is the basics of shadow work. If you would like to learn more about shadow work, how to do shadow work, and other spiritual topics, be sure to check down below for the link to sign up for my newsletter for my Spiritual Guru course that is coming soon. In my course, we'll be talking about the spiritual basics, how to meet your spirit team, how to meet your shadow self, and even how to meet your psychic self. If you are interested in that and would like more information, be sure to hit the subscribe button, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Siga, and sign up below to receive email updates about when the course will drop. I hope that you all have a lovely rest of your day.